Hey everyone, welcome to another rendition of Patiently Waiting for the Next League. And today, well, it's one of those days. This is a Puncture Gladiator on regular heist. So let me get that out of the way first. I am not playing Flashback. Not because I had a terrible start or I bricked my progress. I just felt lazy, you know? Having to regrind the Atlas for the third time this league alongside having to relevel and grind heist again is something I did not want to do, nor did I find fun. So I simply went back to regular heist. Which is why today's build is an actual character. Now this is the first time ever I do a bow bleed or puncture character, and it turned out to be quite fun actually. It maps relatively fast and the single target is pretty decent as well, as you'll see from the Sirus and Conqueror fights. Having said that, if you're gonna attempt this character as heist, sunsets or in flashback, be warned that we require some rather specific things that can push the whole build to the realm of currency sinks. Some crafting is gonna be required and you all know that RNG is an envious hoe, so be cautious of that when building the character. With all of that out of the way, if you enjoyed tonight's content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, otherwise a rating and a comment are always appreciated. So now, let's make everyone bleed, including ourselves, for DPS purposes. Alright Ramblers, let's get rambling. First comes the gear, and the most important thing is the weapon. Now, I crafted this bow by spamming alchemical resonators with jagged, corroded and dense fossils. This was done in order to eliminate elemental modifiers, life modifiers and chaos modifiers, forcing physical, element and defense mods to appear often. There are no defense mods in bows, so physical ones were more common. After a couple of tries I got the bow that you see on screen, which is an Elder influenced bow with as much physical DPS as possible alongside 60% chance for bleeding inflicted with this weapon to deal 100% more damage. Remember that bleed scales off your physical damage, which means the higher the better, and that Elder modifier just makes us deal a crap ton more bleed damage. In the end, something like this bow regardless of the base is good enough. Also try to get this or the body armor 6 linked because we'll be socketing our DPS setup in either. For the body armor, any base is fine, but we need at least a 5 link with 2 reds and 3 greens. Alongside that, as much life as possible and resistances. Also, I crafted a void elemental elements and stun avoidance because we are gonna be building towards elemental element immunity. Moving to the helmet, vulnerability curse effect is pretty much the best enchantment, because it's going to apply to both puncture and split arrow. Besides that, we need life, accuracy, a resist and we benchcraft element avoidance. For the gloves, life, physical damage over time multiplier, and if you can get resistances, attack speed or accuracy, that will be good. However, we are benchcrafting elemental element avoidance, so you need an open suffix. Moving on, the quiver needs life, resistances, physical damage over time multiplier and physical damage to attacks if possible. If you cannot get the phys damage over time, then the regular damage over time multiplier mod is good enough. In the amulet we want life, phys damage over time multiplier, resistances, and we are gonna benchcraft mana cost of skills. Also we need some intelligence in this character, which means any amulet base with intelligence helps us greatly. We are also anointing dirty techniques for more bleed damage. One of the rings needs life, accuracy and as many resistances as possible. We are also benchcrafting mana cost on it. If you can get intelligence on it as well, that'd be great. The other ring needs vulnerability on hit, either as the implicit or as a suffix alongside life, a resist and intelligence. I crafted this one for the last build guide, so I am reusing it here. Moving to the belt, it is a darkness enthroned. Both of the jewels on the belt have life, resistances and damage over time while wielding a two-handed weapon. And we are also using the red trail boots. These guys are here for generating frenzy charges. If you could get them with an increased maximum life corrupted implicit, that will be optimal. But these boots are mandatory regardless, so make sure that you kept resistances everywhere else before equipping them. As for flasks, a sulfur, a quartz and a granite or basalt. So now let us talk about the passive tree. We are obviously a gladiator and we are gonna take the right side of the ascendancy for bleed accessories and bleed damage. We're also taking phys damage with frenzy charges and damage while not getting hit. Nothing else in the ascendancy does anything for the character, so no alternatives here whatsoever. Moving on, this is a level 96 gladiator. However, the last points we allocate are instant war cries and some life regen with strength, so 94 should be enough. We do not side with any bandits, and for Pantheons, Solaris and Shakari are always the best options. As for the tree itself, we are gonna begin on the dexterity side of the duelist start, grabbing life, bow bleed and damage over time stuff, more life, crimson dance and bleed damage. From there we move towards the right side of the skill tree, grabbing more bow damage over time, life, more life, some more bow damage over time, more life, more bow damage over time stuff, and the dodge nodes. Now we move towards the left side, grabbing life, bleed damage, life, a jewel socket and more life. In that jewel socket we are gonna place Lion Eyes Fall, which will make any non-bow damage passive in radius apply to bows instead. And thanks to it we are gonna take the whole axe cluster alongside half the sword nodes, also the one-hander stuff. Finally we take the jewel sockets that we missed, an intelligence node, frenzy charges, life regen and instant war cries. Now, in order to generate the frenzy charges with the red trail, we must be bleeding for that to happen. So we are gonna use the golden rule to reflect bleeds we apply back to us. However, this is going to cause you to one-shot yourself as long as you are not using a Watcher's Eye with unaffected by bleeding while affected by malevolence. This entire setup makes us bleed quote-unquote immune, as we still bleed but we take no damage from it, and we generate a frenzy charge every time we hit an enemy while we are bleeding, while also having some extra movement speed as well. Pretty nifty setup that is slept on rather often. Anyways, the last duel has increased the maximum life, resistances and physical damage over time multiplier. So yeah, that's it for the skill tree. Rather messy, but it makes sense I think. The goal is just maximizing bleed DPS while getting life here and there. So with that said, let's wrap this up with some gem setups. In the 6th link, either weapon or body armor, we are socketing Puncture, Awakened Swift Affliction, Awakened Deadly Elements, Awakened Vicious Projectiles, Brutality and Chance to Bleed. If you cannot afford Awakened Gems, the regular versions are fine as well. In the other 6 or 5 link, we socket a Split Arrow linked to Deadly Elements, Vicious Projectiles, Brutality and Chance to Bleed. The last gem can either be Chain or Pierce. In the helmet, War Banner, Skitterbots and Divergent Malevolence, all of them linked to Enlighten level 3. In the gloves, Enduring Cry and Flame Dash, linked to Blood Magic and Second Wind, and in the boots, Blood Rage, Divergent Vitality, Decoy Totem and a Portal Gem. And with all of that said, let us conclude this rendition of Gladiator Blitz. All in all, a pretty fun character. I know that Bleed Bow Gladiator is kinda generic, in the sense that it's a common league starter and a rather common build that is good all around. However, I am also aware that people build this differently. What I mean by that is that some prefer Ensnaring Arrow without speccing into Crimson Dance. Some like using Maloney's mechanism, some others like using Rizlatha's coil. However, I went with my own take on the build and I liked it in the end. It actually was a lot of fun, though I am lacking some extra clear by not having Pierce or Chain in my body, and that is on me for not investing into a 6-linked Split Arrow setup. However, you could also use a Penetrating Quiver and that should give you similar results to a 6-link. DPS wise we could go higher with a better bow, a better quiver, better jewels, etc. The chance is there, I just don't think that it's rather doable this late into Heist. Maybe in any other league though. But that's it for the character. As for why I am not playing Flashback, well, I said it in the beginning. I wasn't having a ton of fun as I expected. Between being half burnt out and also quite bored of the current league, having to start from zero to hero for the 4th time this league is not something I enjoy. Which is why I went back to Heist. And it's okay because I still have a thing or two to showcase before the year ends. So with all of that said, I am out. Fun build and give it a go if you can. But otherwise, I hope that you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and I'll catch you again on the next one. Take care, have a nice start to your week and peace out.
I can't do this just yet.
Your lives are meaningless! Be utterly
futility of your efforts. Die.
Your lives are meaningless! Creation itself! We utterly annihilated!
I can't do this just yet.